I was gonna bring something for you, I forgot.
So we're gonna,
Yeah.
Call a regular Leicester City Council meeting for February 7th, 2012 to order. Roll call, sorry. Roll call.
Beagle? Here. Byer?
Here.
Flory?
Here.
Fox?
Here.
Moats? Here. Schuster? Here. Mayor Zamora?
Here.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome our guests tonight. Approval of the agenda.
We have an addition to the agenda. The girls softball.
Everybody got a copy of the girls softball request?
That is H.
CH. Okay, it's time to need a motion with the addition for approval of the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Motion to approve the consent agenda with additions by Councilmember Moats, seconded by Councilmember Byer. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carried. Motion for approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Councilmember Beagle, seconded by Councilmember Moats to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion on the motion? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carried. This time we come to the public comment where non-agenda items that cannot be handled during regular business hours. Anybody wish to speak? Don't everybody jump at once. Okay, so that's the unfinished business. We have a couple of resolutions and clerk's going to add some stuff to them.
Yes, when it comes to the motion, I'd like to add a little bit of verbiage to that motion. But basically, the state wanted to see a little bit of extra wording in the resolution, and everyone received a copy of that where we made little clerical changes here and there, and made sure the wording was correct for the state. But we'd like, when you do the motion, for that to say to amend and completely restate Resolution 2012-01 by adopting Resolution number 2012-3, the IFT transfers. That is because we had passed the resolution prior, so this is restating it and adopting the new resolution.
This really doesn't change anything of the nature of transferring the IFT certificates. It's just putting the language that the state had requested in order to do this.
So I think to simplify this, I'll have the clerk read the motion as stated, and then we'll just have somebody
Okay.
make a motion. How's that?
Yes. The motion would be to amend and completely restate Resolution 2012-01 by adopting Resolution number 2012-03, IFT transfer of 5 certificates from Len Industries, Inc. to J.D. Norman Industries.
You make the motion?
Yeah.
Okay, second. Okay. We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Fox, seconded by Councilmember Byer, as stated. Any discussion on the motion? Roll call, please.
Fox.
Roll call.
Yeah.
Roll call. Moats?
Yes.
Schuster? Yes. Mayor Zamora?
Yes.
Beagle?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Flory?
Yes.
That was 7-0.
The next one's okay?
The next one, we have to do the same thing.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, same thing on the next resolution, 2012-04, liquor license application for Joe south of the border. Again, clerk will read the motion.
The motion, we'd like it to read, to amend and completely restate Resolution 2011-19 by adopting Resolution 2012-04, liquor license application for Joe's South of the Border LLC.
Motion is in order at this time.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Motion to adopt resolution 2012-04 as stated by Councilmember Beagle and seconded by Councilmember Schuster. Any discussion on the motion? All right, roll call, please.
Moats,
Yes.
Schuster,
Yes.
Mayor Zamora,
Yes.
Beagle,
Yes.
Byer,
No.
Flory,
Yes.
Fox.
Yes.
That vote was 6-1, motion passed.
Okay, new business, trying to appoint a member to the Board of Review. You're up there, City Manager.
We have not found somebody, but we do have a list of potential people that we're asking and giving them information on it. Hopefully we'll have somebody for the next meeting.
Okay, at this time, move on. Approve the placement of the Leslie Historical Society sign at City Hall, 107 East Bellevue Street.
The Leslie Historical Society has discussed for a long time the idea of putting a sign up on this building. As most of you know, they operate a museum in the basement, and they typically will put out kind of a sandwich board sign when they're here. But they've always wanted something a little bit more permanent so that when people drive by, they know that that's in here. So they had approached the Planning Commission to put a sign up. The Planning Commission approved their sign with a variance because it hangs down a little bit. It says it needs to be 12 feet clearance for a public walkway, and it's right about at 12 feet. And I believe you have a picture of the sign in there. Typically, and this was kind of an oversight on my part, is that they do not own the building, do not pay rent, so they typically, if the Planning Commission is taking up a sign application for a tenant of a building, we usually ask for permission from the building owners. So after talking about it, we thought that we should put this on the agenda for City Hall or City Council to discuss and give their thoughts and approval if you so wish.
I have a question. Why, maybe you don't know this, I don't know, maybe I should check with them. Why did they just name it Leslie Area Historical Museum instead of Leslie Area Historical Society Museum? Do you know?
I do not know that.
Doesn't matter, I just want to know.
And as a discussion point, you can see the next item on the agenda is also permission from Grua and Attorney Grua about the sign as well. So
You said theirs hung at 12 feet, and you're gonna hang this one under?
this one
Oh, it
is
says 12 foot.
well. It's just it's
Cool.
it's not code. It's just the sign ordinance because if you're having the public walk underneath it, typically they want it high enough so that there's not, any danger or that type of thing, so.
So it's gonna hang in the, right, in the
Right
opening
on-
there, is that what you're thinking?
Yes, yeah.
And not on the building, I mean,
It'll be affixed to the back of the stone block that says GAR Hall. These will hang down underneath that. So it'll still be 10 or 11 feet in the air. attached so that they can be taken off, but it'll be a little bit more permanent because it's not gonna hang on chains, so it's not blowing back and forth. But, so it'll be affixed to the back of the stone block, but it can be taken down if necessary.
Are they vinyl banners or actual signs?
They're actual signs.
They're independent of each other?
Yes. Yeah.
I'd be happy to volunteer when you get to that item on the agenda, unless you want to consider them all together. I can chime in, however you want to handle it, Mayor.
I was just gonna say, I don't see why we can't do them both together. Today? You got something to say?
Yeah, no, I do. First of all, I want to apologize to the Planning Commission. This sort of came up on short notice. My partner was coming out hunting one day and drove by, and he said, I wasn't quite sure where you were, because, in the past, we've put out a sign that we would stick it in the window, to let clients know, because we come out here on Thursdays, we pay, you probably see me hand Danae a check every meeting. I mean, we pay $100 a month to, come out and meet with clients by appointment, really. And so I just mentioned that to Brian, if the possibility ever exists, so we could locate. And then the Historical Society Museum filed an application to have a sign, and so I called Mr. Urban and I said, as a way to piggyback on this. And so he said, yeah, I'll just fill out the form and the application, and did that, presented to Planning Commission, but, and I apologize for this. I think it was a sort of a surprise to the Historical Museum that they were presented. So they actually, I think, tabled our request at the meeting. And so, I think that it's the way it's set up, Mayor, is there's a couple of extensions that come down, and then they're wood, and they just, the Historical Museum is bigger, than this is a much smaller, and it just, but it's got a bracket down below it, so you can take it off, and just a way to sort of identify ourselves with the community and where we hang our hat, when we come down on Thursday afternoons.
I think it's great, so let people know that we have some other people who are utilizing the building. Okay, at this time we need a motion to approve the signs for the Historical Society and for our legal counsel. We can do them together.
Make a motion.
For a second.
Motion made. What's your name again? Flory? Councilmember Flory, and seconded by Councilmember Byer to approve both signs.
ahead of me by
No, that's the one.
As stated. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, next is approve consumers authorization for change in the lighting contract and adopt resolution numbers 2012-05, 6, 7, 8,
skipped.
and 9.
Skipped D.
Oh, I just skipped D?
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. Back to D.
My
Appoint
turn.
election inspectors for the February 28, 2012 presidential primary election. Let's need a motion for that.
I'll second that.
Have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Fox, seconded by Councilmember Beagle to approve the election inspectors for the February 28, 2012 presidential primary election. Any discussion on the motion? No discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say no. Okay, now we're at D, sorry. Approve consumers authorization for change in the lighting contract and adopt resolution number 2012-05, 06, 07, 08, and 09.
This is really the culmination of about 2 years of working with consumers to address our street lighting bill. If you remember last year, we our street lights, which found that we were being overcharged, and they issued us a refund. And, yeah, we did receive that check, so that piece of it is all taken care of. And I think as another kind of an additional agreement, there is some either federal or state legislation that says consumers has to work towards changing over to so many high efficiency bulbs over a certain period of years. And given our size, they said, you know, that they have a 10-year plan or this type of thing for their whole organization, but they said since we're close and we're small that they'll do all of our lights, which results in a pretty significant reduction in our bills. So they have gone through and changed out all of our street lights to these different type of bulbs, all except for 4 of them, I believe, for the higher powered ones, which they still need to do. So you may want to take a look. We have not really received any complaints on the new street lights. I don't know if anybody's heard anything, or other than there's still a few of them that are always out that is constantly have to try to keep up on. But really, this is just adopting the resolution which they're asking for to accept their accounts and revise our billing. And I think we can adopt all these in one.
Yeah, she said we could, so. Okay, motion is in order to approve consumer's authorization for change in the lighting contract, adopt resolutions as stated. Your motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, we do have a motion by Councilmember Schuster, seconded by Councilmember Moats, to approve consumer's authorization for change in the lighting contract and adopt resolutions number 2012-05, 06, 07, 08, and 09. Any discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Schuster,
Yes.
Mayor Zamora,
Yes.
Beagle,
Yes.
Byer,
Yes.
Flory,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
That passed 7-0.
Motion carried. Okay, next item is approve revised franchise agreement. The new cable franchise owner, Wide Open West, Mid-Michigan LLC.
This is Broad Stripe was purchased by WOW at the conclusion of last year. And basically as a result, we had a franchise agreement with Broad Stripe, and now this is just transferring it over to WOW so that we can receive our franchise fees.
If there are no questions, motion is in order.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember
Beagle.
Beagle, seconded by Councilmember Moats, to approve the revised franchise agreement with the new cable owner, WOW. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carried. Okay, item G is adopt resolutions number 2012-10, endorsing the capital fund services to administer the regional revolving loan fund.
This is, as you know, we have had in Leslie for several years an economic development corporation, which was created with funds from a federal grant back in the early 80s, I believe. And basically it was funds intended for wastewater projects that we ended up not needing all of it, so the feds allowed the city to roll that into a revolving loan fund, which over the years has been used to help businesses, give them gap financing for some of the area small businesses. Currently, we have, with our EDC, we have one loan outstanding, which is a laundromat out by the freeway. And last year, you may remember us talking about it, that the state had wanted to take those funds away from us. Not just us, anybody with a revolving loan fund in the state. Mainly because the federal government, HUD specifically, had these specifications for using that money, which locals were really not following, mainly because they didn't know the rules by which to operate, and there was very little leadership at the state level. So the state is upset because their HUD is coming down on the state, not coming down on the locals, because technically, and Sherry can jump in if I'm not explaining this right, technically, the state MEDC is basically supposed to be the carrier of these funds. So for us, obviously we were disappointed in this. Other communities were impacted a lot larger than us. The city of Mount Pleasant had $400,000 or $500,000 taken. And when I say taken, what they want to do is they want to move it into a regional fund, so that we would be essentially, if one of our businesses wanted to seek those funds, you'd still have to compete with, the Tri-County region or whatever our region is. So there's basically two other funds in this region. The city of Leslie has one, Eaton County has one, and the village of Olivet has some funds. Very, very few. So it really impacted us and the county of Eaton the most. So Sherry and I met with this group, and what they are asking for. The state put out a proposal for nonprofits to operate this regional fund, because it has something to do with defederalizing the money as long as it's run by a nonprofit. So this Capital Fund Services is really the only group that's approached us, and they need our endorsement in order to get a certain number of points from the state. Although if they're the only applicant, it really doesn't matter whether we endorse them or not. But after meeting with them, it's our opinion that it makes sense to endorse them to administer the regional revolving loan fund. I thought we had a really good meeting. They are a good organization, and they're not really interested in managing these funds for making money. It's just another tool for them to be able to, involved in economic development and other types of, affordable housing and different types of ventures like that. So I think it would expose us to some other tools that perhaps that we could use, that our local businesses can use, and I think Sherry agreed with that. We don't have a lot of choice. We're losing those funds, although they're quick to say that we're not losing them. It's just being managed in a regional sense. So, and I think how much did we have?
Approximately 60,000. I mean, it was, as far as what ours is right now, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, about 60,000. It was much higher, but we got a grant. Actually, that was quite a good thing. 2 years ago, well, actually not quite 2 years ago, we were granted some of the funds for, I think you might remember, the wastewater treatment plant and the water project, and actually Mill Street. So we transferred those funds last year. That left approximately 60,000 in the fund. So we would have lost a lot more had we not received those grants. So that's the positive side of it. But I do think it's a good idea to endorse them because, as Brian said, I think it would expose us to having more resources to tap into for potential economic growth in the city.
How does it affect
Laundromat? The fund manager, whoever ends up being the fund manager, will take over that loan. I've already talked to the owners and explained to them what was going on. And I did bring that question up because they do have a balloon on that payment in 2014. while they couldn't guarantee me that they would redo it, they said, you know, I told them that was one of my main concerns, because they paid like clockwork, and it's obviously a needed project, a needed business in our community. So they know that, you know, that is one of the things we're concerned about. So I'm hoping that they will redo that loan when it balloons in 2014.
But other than that, they make payments to them instead of.
Yes, they will take over all of the administrative part. I won't be doing any, you know, we won't be collecting the payments here. I won't be doing those semi-annual reports to the state or anything like that. They will do everything with the EDC revolving loan fund.
And if there is another good thing, it does relieve us of a lot of the administrative burden of that fund, because it was significant amount of time for really not a large, substantial fund, but the amount of reporting and that type of stuff that Sherry had to do to keep us in compliance, that type of thing. So
It sounds like it's business as usual, just different management.
Right,
And-
except for the funds, but now we'll be competing for them instead of those just
Right.
being
But-
specified for our,
But we'll still have a pretty good chance of getting the funds for our people
We're
to apply.
hoping.
We're hoping, and then when that balloon comes due, hopefully some of our input will be positive to.
that was the other thing. They did say that the loan review committee, they will have one representative from
Good.
you know, the city of Leslie on that loan review committee,
help
which
them
is
along.
good.
Great, good. Any questions?
So it's going to go into a regional type of organization. Do you know what those regions are, or it's going to get to decided?
We're Region 7, and it was Ingham, Eaton, and Clinton, I believe, counties. Is that correct?
I believe so. I can't remember if there was an additional county in there.
No, there were just 3 counties. Yeah, I'm sure it was Ingham and Eaton, and I think it was Clinton, the one that's just up above us.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Clinton, Eaton, and Ingham.
So are all, I guess, municipalities going to be able to tap into this? Just kind of people who've already had money get transferred, so
Correct.
there'll be more, I guess, competition.
Yes, which obviously, it hurts us because obviously there's a lot more activity going on in, Meridian Township, or at this meeting, Sherry and I couldn't understand, there was the economic developer from Delta Township was there, we've been sniffing out the funds, but
They don't
That-
even have a.
that is,
solving.
Yeah.
this was a concern that we raised, and also the economic developer from Eaton County. And they assured us that, if we have activity, that there will be more funds put into this so that our businesses can benefit. Obviously, that's not a guarantee. We would like to have that guarantee for our area businesses, but, there's not that guarantee, unfortunately.
So they would just basically go on their own. They're not gonna go through you to get the funds anymore. They have to go and put in for that pool, correct?
Correct.
We're out of it completely as far as the
Yeah,
city.
so our EDC board basically becomes defunct. And with the exception of, like Sherry said, one of us would probably sit on the regional review board. So we
So
would
she's
have
got a
kind of
piece
one
of-
vote.
Yeah, so we at least get one vote there. We don't know how many. So one position.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
I don't know how many people.
It is a plan.
I'm not
You know,
sure.
I don't know. They didn't really indicate how they were going to do it, but they did say that we would get one vote. I don't know, and obviously Eaton County will get one vote. I don't know about Olivet because they were in the process of actually, they only had like $2,900 in no loans, so they were in the process of getting rid of theirs anyway. So I don't know how many other ones that they would have. I think the idea behind it though is, right now it is, there's all these regulations, being that it's under HUD. You have to meet a national objective, and it was very, very difficult to to meet all those guidelines. So the idea is to have it run by a nonprofit to defederalize everything so that they didn't have to fall under all of those guidelines. So the idea is good. And the fund manager, whoever that ends up being, and like Brian said, this is the only one that's come forth for our region, will be the one that would be making the decision about where the money goes. And so we're hoping that we are, we have that little bit of a relationship with them now, that will continue to give us some pull if we need the money.
The EDC has helped a lot of
It has, yeah.
businesses in,
But it has gotten a lot tougher to get an EDC loan passed, because it used to be, we didn't know what the rules were, so evidently we weren't following them. We were supposed to be tracking job retention and all that. Well, they never told us that until they tried to take the money away from us, so.
Brian, you mentioned that there might be some additional funds being put in. Where would those monies be coming from? Add to their fund?
The other resources that they.
Well, yeah,
We're
but I think
looking at existing
in
loans,
terms
or-
of the revolving loans, it would be
Okay.
from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. So as things get better with the state, they talked about additional revenues to put in each of these funds for revolving loans. But again, there's no set numbers or guarantees for those.
But they won't be expecting local money to go to them
No,
at any point.
no.
Questions? Okay, we have a motion to adopt resolution number 2012-10, endorsing capital fund services to administer the regional revolving loan fund.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. We do have a motion by Councilmember Beagle, seconded by Councilmember Pfister. Any discussion on the motion as stated?
Since that was federal money to begin with, I guess,
Is that?
so it was federal money to begin with. and
Yeah, right.
They don't have to.
Yeah,
We don't have a choice. We just hope for the best, I guess. And we do have some input, so that's good. Any other discussion on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Zamora,
Yes.
Beagle,
Yes.
Byer,
yes,
Flory,
Yeah.
Fox,
Yeah.
Moats,
Yes.
Schuster. Yes. That passed 7-0.
Okay, item H is the one that we just got handed before the meeting on this, using the softball fields over at Church Street for the young ladies, which Michelle Bracketon comes every year. And, sorry, you want to tell them about that?
Oh, that's fine.
Sorry, I carried away.
I like that.
She does come every year, and it's worked well, and she has done some improvements, and she hopes to keep doing that, so. Any questions? Okay, we can have a motion to approve the request.
I'll make the motion.
second,
Motion by Councilmember Moats, seconded by Councilmember Byer, to approve the request for the Leslie Girls Softball League as stated. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carried. Now we come to committee reports.
Had my first meeting with, the mayor and, talked about a few different things. Talked about, some kind of fundraiser to kind of supplement the money for the pool grant. And I saw in the Guardian that, some people were collecting pennies. I'm not sure, did you talk to them about that at all, or as far as,
Not yet, not yet.
not
He's
sure?
talking about the Parks and Rec committee, right?
Yeah. And, so I guess they're gonna try to, if there is fundraising, trying to coordinate that and keep track of it. There's some other stuff, talking about a golf outing and, just trying to trying to come up with the monies, different ways. He brought up a sledding hill possibly, kind of brainstorming, which I thought was a real good idea. Something for the winter time, and maybe even get a softball league going on Sundays to kind of put the softball fields to use. Just thought of brainstorming it.
Did Eric, you wanna mention how you, were on the cover of
Oh.
that?
Yeah.
Show it.
He'll sign if you have a copy, he'll sign it.
I don't look quite as excited as some of the people.
Put your hand up.
But they do have, in March, they have a day of training for Parks and Rec, so we'll be talking about grants and that kind of stuff, so plan on attending that.
Good. Thank you.
I don't have anything to report.
I don't know anything.
Over here.
No docketing information to report, and thank you for the approval on the sign. Congratulations, Brian.
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
Absolutely.
We have the complete streets meeting tomorrow night. Other than that,
What time is that?
I think 7,
Oh, that was
7
7.
o'clock.
Yeah, online deal with the response, good,
I don't know.
Online
I think
No,
we'll
I
find
think-
out tomorrow
Yeah,
night what the latest
tomorrow we're gonna
results
find
are.
out what the results are. I don't think tomorrow's it wasn't like a big public
No.
meeting, so that's why we haven't really
Just the
publicized.
committee.
Just trying to gather everything together.
Mhm.
Okay.
Election coming up February 28th.
Your 28th election, good.
4 years ago, we had 212 voters, so
Wow.
might be a slamming busy day.
Especially if they all come at once.
I had mine was basically the same stuff that Councilmember Fleury had, but we'll discuss that, and mine we'll discuss in the goals meeting, which we'll talk about, those are some of my goals, but other than that, that's all I have. City Manager, anything to add?
Just a couple things. It does look like Moose is gonna start construction, at least on their foundation, either Friday or early next week. They've secured a building permit for their foundation, and I know it's been out to bid. So hopefully this is coming to the end of this saga, and not just the beginning of a different saga, because it has been, there still is problems and animosity between those contractors and the adjoining building owner, and arguments over how things are gonna go up, and that type of thing, so, but at least there's something moving forward with that. Also, I got word today that MISTA is gonna increase our grant for downtown lofts to include 4 units for Chris Fuller. So, and I know Bob Howe had a walkthrough yesterday with contractors to bid out he's doing 5 new units, 4 above the sword shop and 1 above Sam's physical therapy. So, with his 5 and Fuller's 4, we should have some pretty exciting open houses in the summer. So those have been, ever since we did our first 5 units, it's been kind of a long time to work through some of the issues, but that'll be exciting. And I know Chris Fuller's been waiting on word for that in order to move forward with his Mexican restaurant. So hopefully those will proceed along simultaneously, and hopefully that they'll have that open for the summer. I know I did see some correspondence with the health department so I know that they've been moving forward with getting their licensing and that type of thing, and obviously with their liquor license, they've moved forward on that. So the DPW director position, we received about 35 applications. Actually have a really good mix of people, so we're reviewing those right now, and hopefully we'll set up some interviews pretty soon, but I was very impressed with, several of the applicants, and we got a good mix of, young people with, water licenses, folks who have a lot of expertise, who are retired from other DPWs that are still young and want to work, local candidates. So I think we'll be able to find a very good person to fill that position. The trash hauling contract, I drafted an RFP. Jennifer read through it for me. I need to get it to Randy to read through, and then I'll probably have Mark look through it, and we'll continue to tweak that and hopefully push that forward here in the near future, and keep that moving forward. Water and sewer projects are both in pretty full swing. We received basically our okays from the USDA for the wastewater treatment plants. We got our closing instructions and the authorization to put that out to bid. So those are pretty significant milestones on that project. We're submitting, I was reviewing plans today for our water plant at the engineers today. So they will be submitting that to the DEQ next week. So we're really getting close on those in terms of moving those forward. I know with the water meter analysis, they just sent out another round of letters trying to stir up a lot of appointments and that type of thing. So I think they're about 75% complete with the city, so they've really got a lot of good information on that. So they're going to continue to try to get that number up as close to 100% as possible on that. And then last but not least, I do have, for anybody who's interested, I have pictures of my new daughter. So and that's all I have.
And her name is, again,
Grace Michelle.
Grace.
Yeah, that's my middle name.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Cool.
We don't look like we've been missing too much sleep.
Yeah. I've missed my fair share.
Ask those that are working with him. He looks a little bit more droopy.
Yeah.
Is she doing good?
Yeah. Doing good. Just likes to stay up at night. Yeah, it's a night owl.
We remember.
Yeah.
He rewards her with daddy time, though.
Yeah, that's usually my time.
That's
It's from midnight to 2.
Oh, this one she's-
Adjourn then? Yep. Okay, last but not least, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion to adjourn by Councilmember Byer, seconded by Councilmember Moultz. Any discussion? I hope not. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say